Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Dune Awakening video. Today, I am bringing you a truly unique speedrun experience. We will be using 2 Mentat abilities and 5 pieces of Mentat armor. In order for a speedrun build to be considered class specific, I've given myself some guidelines. The build must include at least 2 abilities from the class and at least 4 pieces of the specific class armor set. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this ultra-fast speedrun of the Agave farm. The point of this guide is to show another way to play the game. As I'm focused on speed, my weapon of choice is the blade. But this build could definitely also work with firearms as well. The 2 Mentat abilities I've opted for are the shield wall and the stunner. And if we pair that with the incredible Bene Gesserit Compel, we have quite a build on our hands. Just a bit of a warning, this build is not on the easier side, especially the way that I have it set up bare bones like this. I'll leave the build link in the description so you can have a look and find a way to make this build your own. That sound brings us to the start of wave number 1. So as we progress through the run, I'll explain my tactics and how to use these abilities together. With this specific lab, the technique is to start at the back of the room and clear until the front. Compel is a great way to put those heavies to sleep and get 2 slow blades in before they even wake up. At the moment, Spice is activated and tends to last till about the 4th round. The strat is to spice up before you walk in and then once again as soon as you can. Remember that Spice increases your damage, reduces incoming damage, and reduces ability cooldowns. That was a very fast round considering there's no knee charge or weirding step on the ability bar. That brings us to the official start of wave number 2. The strat here is to drop the shield wall and compel. With the Screech passive, it's an AoE as well. So unfortunately here I learnt my lesson that you cannot stun a staggering opponent. So here's the main way to attack this lab. Pull this pack out of this room to the right and funnel them into the hallway. You can see here the melee are basically lining up behind the shield wall, waiting to die. Anytime you need protection, dive behind the shield wall and compel the heavy to you. You can see here how I'm able to use the shield wall as cover and dart in and out to avoid getting shot. Remember to deactivate the shield when you're not using it to reset the timer. And here's a good example of the stunner doing its job. With manipulate instability as one of our techniques, we want all of our enemies either staggered or stunned before we attack. Again, I have to stress, this build is not considered easy as it stands, but with a few personal tweaks you can make it your own. Also, I'm focused purely on speed, but this build has a great defensive capability. By dropping the shield wall during fights, you have protection and cover. And compel and stunner to put them to sleep. If compel is used correctly, you can use it to pull enemies through the shield wall and avoid all enemy fire. Don't forget to deactivate and take it down as soon as it's not needed to restart the timer. First thing we want to do is clear the room to the right. Use the shield wall after you engage and pick off the melee first. And if they get up in your face, stun their asses. And if they try and get away, get over here. Again, using our shield wall to pull the heavies through with compel. Now unfortunately it doesn't do much to stop the flamethrowers, but without all the extra darts, the flamethrowers are almost not a problem. So unfortunately my spice runs out right about here, and the cooldown timer starts. So this is definitely one of those instances where you could spec into firearms and deal with that in a very different way. But it's up to you to decide what to do with those extra points. As I said, as it stands, this is the bare bones version, but it is all that's required to do this extremely quickly. So that brings us to the start of wave number 4. So here's a really good display of the strat. Drop the shield wall, wait to the last minute to compel, and fight the melee. So unfortunately here I mistimed my stunner, but lesson learnt. You can see here I'm able to have time to deal with one while the other one is compelled and asleep during the whole fight. So a few people ask, why do I switch to a knife when speedrunning, and this is the best example. Because the melee NPCs choose sword, we choose knife. A light attack from a knife beats a sword attack every day. Between spice activations, we are very fragile, so be careful here and use the hallway appropriately. Each wave, it's our job to break up the party over here in the right room. Bait them out, drop the wall, and stun. Try not to let them run away. And use compel through the wall. Mentat strat, baby. Notice the way the shield wall slows down the melee NPC. Golden. Stunner into slow blade. So it was right here I started to reactivate spice in time for the final wave. But first we had to deal with these stragglers. Notice here that I compel the heavy and then drop the shield wall to protect myself from the ranged. Don't forget to deactivate the wall as soon as it's not needed. And try and make every enemy unstable before you attack. So at about 7.5 minutes, we'd already made it to wave number 5. Spice was almost returned. They don't even know what they're in for. And that brings us to the official start of wave number 5, the final round. So we drop the shield wall and get ready for the melee. Compel all lined up. Slow blade time. Notice here that the melee that ran away is using my shield wall as cover to heal. The good thing about the wall is sometimes it forces them not to run any further. Just a heads up, I make a crucial mistake here of activating spice in front of a ranged NPC. I had two options. I was either going to be pushed out of it or I had to dart out of it. From what I can tell, if your spice activation is interrupted, you still get the benefits of damage and damage mitigation, but you lose the ability to see through walls. As you will see, it didn't really matter in the end, as we cleared this room very quickly. You'll notice that I've included precise parry in the build, and this is exactly why. While under the effects of spice, if you land a parry on a melee NPC, the next slow blade is almost an instant kill. A triple slow blade into this heavy to finish him off. And a stun to the face. Brings us to the official end of the run. A 9-minute 35 Agave farm using the Mentat class. So I did tease this video during the week and I promised it was going to be a good one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Here are the skills. So the most important part of the Swordmaster would be the precise parry and the disciplined breathing technique. Moving over to the Bene Gesserit, we have the all-powerful Compel, boosted by Screech. And of course, our second technique, manipulate instability. Over to the Planetologist, we're taking our overcharge and rerouting. But the star of the show is the Mentat class. The stunner and the shield wall come from here. I ran the build a few different ways, and center of mass is still my number one choice for the third technique. So let's go over the armor. I chose to use 5 pieces of the Mentat specific class armor. Equipped with the Mark V Holtzman, Mark VI Power Pack, and the replica pulse knife. So there you have it, folks. The rumors are true. The Mentat can speedrun. Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of the video. If you found it entertaining, informative, or even both, please don't forget to give it a like. And if this is your first time on the channel, please subscribe, as we'd love to have you. I have a little bit of a bonus for today's video, a special request. Nausea asks, when you go to the DD, do you build a small base to store loot, or do you build a large base for farming? Well, I'm going to show you guys. And this is a great week for it because of where my base is situated. In one take, you're going to see me run out of the lab and straight into my base. This is one of those weeks where we have the ultimate scenario. This week we have the option of 2 PvE labs that we could camp outside of. I have chosen to build my base at D1 quadrant, right in front of the lab. I have been building deep desert bases since the game's launch, and this is the style that I've decided to refine it down to. I call it the Pentabox. And this week you can see the entrance of D1 Lab from my base. Before the vehicle changes, I used to refine out here with a much bigger setup. But now I just use a small chemical refinery and a repair bench to store my loot and run things to and from Agave. I usually alternate my weeks where I'll focus on Plastanium one week with the buggy and Spice the next week with the crawler. I usually have a death steal here as well. I was super lucky as I was recording this to have one of the coolest Spice hallucinations ever. I think this one and the giant black giraffes are my favorite. I have a heavy spice addiction, man. I'm throwing down about 40 or 50 spice liquors a day. So again, if you've made it to the official end of the video, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you on the next one.